All right, here's the next one. Parallel lines cut by transversal and their angle pairs. My bad, my stuff got cut off somehow for some reason, but it's okay. We're gonna keep going. All right, so we're gonna review again what we learned. We learned lines and angles. All right, remember we learned all these new words yesterday or the previous day. Alternate interior angle pair. We have alternate exterior, corresponding, consecutive same side, and consecutive inside and outside, or exterior and interior. Okay, why did we learn those? Because each one of those has a specific property, which is what we're learning today. So there's a theorem, alternate interior angles theorem, that says this. It says if you have, oops, bam, bam. If you have two parallel lines that are cut by transversal, let me highlight the parallel lines too, just so you know it's a little easier to see. Let me do parallel line here. One and two. All right, so there's my two parallel lines, and we know that because these little arrows right here, that indicates our parallel lines. If we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, here's my transversal, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. So this angle here, this green and this green are going to be congruent. What does congruent mean? Equal. The same goes for the other alternate interior. So this angle and this angle are going to be congruent, and this angle here and this angle here are also going to be congruent. So that means we can say angle 3 and 5 are also congruent. All right, so moving on. Alternate exterior angles theorem. Remember, alternate means opposite, exterior means outside. Okay, so then let's look at that. So that means, oops, let me actually go ahead and fill this in for you. Go, bam, bam, bam. So that means if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then their pairs of alternate exterior angles are also congruent. So that means 1 and 7 are congruent, and also 2 and 8. All right, I'm going to explain why those colors are the same in a minute. Like, why are they not all different, and why are the colors all the same? Okay. Okay, corresponding angles postulate. Corresponding angles, remember those are this right here. So this angle and this angle are corresponding. Remember, I can take that angle right here. I could take it and drag it back here, and it'll match that one. I could take this angle right here, drag it down, and it'll match that one. Those are corresponding angles. So we have this one and this one, and then we have this one and this one. We got 4 of those. All right, so what's specific about corresponding angles? If we have corresponding angles, each of those angles, because they match up perfectly, are also congruent. So another pair is 2 and 6. All right, if I'm going too fast, hit the pause button, write everything down, then hit the play button. All right, consecutive, so we have consecutive same side interior. So bam, let's see what we got. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, so lines cut by transversal, so parallel lines cut by transversal, then their pairs of consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Remember, supplementary means what? If you don't remember, if you have the S, draw the line. Whoa, cover that whole thing up. Draw the line through the S. That's an 8, which means these two angles together should equal 180 degrees. So let me give you, so we can fill this in, bam, bam. So I'll go back up there in a minute. So it says the measurement of angle 4 and 5 equal 180, and the measurement angle of 3 and 6 equal 180. So copy that down. All right, if I'm going too fast, hit the pause. Here's what they mean. They mean if you take this blue right here plus this green right here, and whatever these values are, they should always equal to 180 degrees no matter what. Same goes for this side. If you were to take this 4 and this 5 and add them up, you should equal 180 degrees. Okay, so that's what that's talking about. And we've learned already that this angle right here is an acute angle, so it's going to be less than 90 degrees. So let me give you an example. If this right here was, let's call it 60 degrees, okay? If that was 60, and if they both have to add up to 180 degrees, we know this has to be 120 degrees, no matter what. And then we can say, hey, look, if this is 120 degrees, and we know this is green and this is green, and if they're both green, they have to be congruent, which means their values are the same. This is also 120. Yo, if this is blue and this is also blue, that means these are congruent, which means this is 60. So, and it keeps going that way. All right, getting off track. Okay, so again, what do I say? Consecutive interior angles equal 180 degrees when you add them up. Same goes for this side. Same goes for consecutive exterior angles. So go here, bam, bam, bam. Copy all that. So parallel, transversal, supplementary. Let's just go ahead and draw a little line through it. That means that equals 180 degrees. All right, hit the pause, hit the pause, hit the pause. All right, let's go back up. What is consecutive exterior angles? So that means this angle right here plus this angle right here, those are my consecutive exterior, and when you add those up, those should equal 180 degrees. Same goes for this here. On the other outside, if you go take this blue one plus this green one, they're going to also equal, when you add them up, 180 degrees. Always, always, always. 4 parallel lines, no matter what. All right, so there's that. Let me show you a quick little demo and we'll start answering these questions. Here are 2 parallel lines cut and it gives us the angle measure. Okay, now I'm going to move the transversal and you're going to see how the angles always match. So if I go straight up, right, look at these. Let's look at the alternate interior angles. Still match. Doesn't matter which way I move it, right? They still match. Still match here, still match here. Alternate interior angles. If I want to look at the alternate exterior angles always still matching. They're congruent no matter what. All right, let's look at same side interior. Okay, so if I go here, right, let me actually reset this real quick so we get a nice number to work with. Let's do alternate interior. All right, so this is a good example, right? Whereas when I take those two numbers on the same side and add them up, they equal 180 for the blues and the reds. Doesn't matter which way I do it, it will always equal 180 degrees, right? So if I found 90, 90, that's 180, right? 90 plus 90 is 180. So that's same side interior. If I want to do same side exterior, same thing. The reds should always equal 180. So that's the little demo right there. All right, so let's answer a few of these questions and then get started. All right, so what does this one say? This one says, if the measurement of angle 3 is 71 degrees, put a 71 right there, find measurement of angle 5. Well, we know what's the relationship between this here and this here. Those are what we call alternate interior, which means they're congruent. Those are congruent angles. So angle 3 and angle 5 are congruent, which means angle 3 and angle 5 equals 71 degrees. Easy, right? All right. This one right here, actually we'll come back to that. Let's see if we can find more before we start solving. This one right here. So if we know angle 1 is 64 degrees, bam. What is the measurement of angle 8? Okay, well, let's think about the relationship. This angle right here and this angle right here. We just talked about it, right? So I'm going to go look at my notes. Which one talks about same side exterior angles? Same side exterior, so that's going to be right here. So you take both of these angles and they need to add up to 180 degrees. So let's go here and we'll say, okay, well, if the measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 8 should equal 180 degrees, well, that means 64 plus blank is equal to 180. Well, if we don't know something, we put an X, and we solve for X, right? Subtract 64 from both sides, or what number do you have to add to 180? Sorry, to 64 to get 180? What's that going to give you? A 6 and a 2, nope, a 1, so 116. All right, keep on keeping on. All right, 16 degrees. Let's look at the next one. Do we have any more that are easier like that? All right, let's do this one. Measurement of angle 2 is 114 degrees, which is an obtuse angle, more than 90, cool. What's the measurement of angle 5? Well, let's figure out what's the relationship. Right now, based off the notes we have, there's not a direct relationship between angle 2 and angle 5. But there's a few things we do know. We know that, hey, if angle 2 is 114, then corresponding angle says 6 has to be 114, right? Because I can take this angle right here, slide that bad boy down, and it matches. Okay? And if we know that matches, we also know that through alternate interior angles, this is also 114. And lastly, we know this angle here plus this angle here, they always add up to 180 degrees. So what number has to go here to add them up? It's got to go 66. Cool. Or you can understand that this angle plus this angle form a line, they form a linear pair. And when they form a linear pair, they always got to add up to 180 degrees. All right, I think we're good on that one. Sorry, right here, 125. Let's do this real quick. Measurement of angle 8. Here's measurement of angle 8. That is 125. Bam, bam, bam. All right, cool. Measurement of angle 2. This one here and here. Oh, those, we do have a direct relationship with that. So that looks like they're on opposite sides of my parallel lines, and they're exterior angles. So opposite, alternate exterior angle says they are congruent. Congruent. So if that's 125, this is also 125. All right. Now let's set up the rest of these. I'm not going to solve all of them, but I'm going to set them up so you kind of see how to do it, just so for the sake of the time of the video. All right, so here we go. Solve for x. We have this angle here and we have this angle here. Those are on opposite sides and they're outside of your parallel line. So those are alternate exterior angles. Let's go back up real quick. Alternate exterior says those are congruent, which means they are equal. So we can say 110, that angle, it's got to be equal to the 19x minus 4. And then we just solve this like we normally would any equation, right? So I would say jump to the line, flip the sign, plus 5, plus 5. I got 115 divided by 19x. And then you want to divide both sides by 19, which will give you x equals 6. All right. Guess I will do them real quick. Okay. So now what do we got here? These are my parallel lines. Bam, bam. Okay. And then these right here, what's the direct relationship between that? So those are on the same side of my transversal, but they're outside. Same side outside. So that means same side exterior angles. That means if you take those two angles, they should add up to how much? 180. Okay, so if I was to take, where are we going to write this at? 12x plus 1 plus 4x minus 13. Both of those angles should equal to 180 degrees. All right, make sure you pause the video, try to solve that yourself, and then play to get the answer. If you were to combine like terms and solve that, you should get x equals 12. All right, set this one up real quick, solve for x. These two, what's the relationship? We have this angle here and we have this one. This is the one that where you take it and you slide it down. That's what we call corresponding angles. Go back up here. Corresponding angle says that they are congruent, which means them dudes are equal. So if I was to set it up real quick, I would have 6x equals to 10x minus 32. Remember, we want to solve for x, get x by itself. Pause the video, try to solve it yourself and see what you get. When you solve it, you should get x equals 8. All right, last one. All right, so we have, bam, we have this angle here, this angle here. Those are on the same side of my parallel lines, which are right here. And they're inside, so they're same side interior angles. What do we know about same side? Take one of the angles plus the other angle should equal 180 because they're supplementary. So if you were to set this up, you would take one of the angles, 19x, plus the other angle, 20x minus 15. And then you would set them equal to 180 and you would solve. Combine like terms. After you combine like terms and solve it, pause the video, try to solve it, tell me what you get. X equals 5. That concludes your notes.